Moe is a Japanese term that describes an emotion, so labeling a character as a moe character is technically subjective. The best definition of moe I could come up with is a character that makes you feel particularly attracted to them, often in a protective way due to their overwhelming cuteness. Moe characters in anime can be any age, but classic moe definitely seems to focus more on younger characters. A few examples include the cast of Lucky Star, Haruhi, Strawberry Marshmallow, Hidamari Sketch, K-On!, Azumanga, and Clannad, just to name a few. There are many ways people experience moe. Some people like to see moe characters in more adult contexts, but a lot of people, like me, are attracted to moe characters purely for the cuteness factor. An overwhelming cuteness that causes deep feelings of affection, adoration, devotion, and excitement. For VTuber fans and idol fans, it's common to have an obsession with your oshi, which I believe is a similar phenomenon to how people experience moe. The obsession doesn't necessarily come from romantic desire, but simply an overwhelming feeling of adoration and excitement towards them. So much so that you buy all their merch, send them money, and draw fan art. There are so many characters in anime and manga that can fit the definition, and like I said, it's highly subjective. Your experience with a character could be completely different than someone else's. In this video, I want to introduce you to a brand new concept, a never-before-seen type of moe that I've been cooking up in the lab. American Moe. I'm American, and I'm sure many people watching this video are as well. If you use Twitter, you might have noticed recently that a lot of Japanese tweets have been getting pushed onto your algorithm and then automatically translated. This has been very fun in a lot of ways, like how Southerners have taught the Japanese to put salted peanuts into their Coke and… Hold on, I never actually tried that. Here's a video of me trying it real quick.
Okay. Okay. Why is that actually good?
Anyway, the cross-cultural exchange between the Americans and the Japanese on Twitter has been very fruitful and lovely, which brings us to the topic of today's video. But before jumping right in, I want to introduce today's sponsor, Pop Epoch. Pop Epoch is a super fun and relaxing mobile game where you get to create your own civilization. You start in the Ice Age with just a small tribe, and as you gather resources and build things up, you push your little society through different eras. It's a really easy game to jump into and just mess around with, which I really like. In just a short session, you can go from primitive times to way more advanced eras, which makes the game very addicting, in a good way. What I really love about Pop Epoch is it's not a crazy complicated strategy game that forces you to micromanage every detail. It's a lot more cozy. You just hop right in and make a few decisions, upgrade your stuff, and get immediate results. As you progress further, you can even run into legendary figures like Archimedes, Shakespeare, Socrates, and more, and recruit them to help your civilization. If you want to try the game out for yourself, I'd love it if you go through the link in my description to support the channel. It really helps me out so much. And if you use the promo code POPLAUNCH, you can grab yourself some free resource boxes to give you a nice head start in the game. Thanks so much to Pop Epoch for sponsoring this video, and thank you for sticking around for the ad. At 10:16 p.m. Japan Standard Time, March 23, 2026, Twitter user @aoban81 tweeted a photo of a DVD set of the Nickelodeon series My Life as a Teenage Robot, as well as a pic of it playing on their TV. The tweet reads, "Since there was no English subtitles, I had no choice but to go in cold and try to pick it up by ear. American Moe." This tweet ended up going a bit viral, with many people finding the term American Moe to be amusing and weirdly accurate as a way of describing the character Jenny from the cartoon. This tweet got me thinking though, what other characters in American cartoons could be described as American Moe? Jenny Wakeman feels very classic in her moe-ness. She's incredibly cute, even by anime standards, with huge eyes, a round face, pigtails, a short skirt, and chunky boots. She stands out as even more cute due to the rest of the characters being pretty average-looking, like Brad and Tuck or her bullies Britt and Tiff. Jenny's personality also adds to her intense cuteness. She is very sweet and naive and is always saving the day and helping people as best she can. Even so, she also has a stubborn and bratty side that comes out from time to time, which is the perfect mix of traits to create the ultimate American Moe blueprint. While Japanese Moe is created very intentionally, American Moe is less so, and you'll begin to see what I mean as I go down my list. Jenny happens to be very obviously adorable, which I'm certain was intentional, but I want you to understand that while cuteness is important, it alone cannot make a character American Moe. It's a little more nuanced than that. For example, Jenny's AMness also comes from the fact that she's an underdog trying to fit into a world that wasn't made for her. Her struggles of being othered, being taken advantage of, but persevering despite it all is a huge reason why she's so endearing. Before diving into discussing which other American cartoon characters fit the American Moe bill, I want to go over some of my stipulations. I have decided not to include certain popular cartoons in this list, particularly ones that I consider either anime-inspired or otherwise outwardly cutesy. I believe a huge part of the American Moe aesthetic is the contrast between the cuteness of the character in question versus the rest of their universe. For example, I've chosen not to include My Little Pony, Teen Titans, The Owl House, Steven Universe, and Amphibia when it comes to discussing this phenomenon. I find that many modern cartoons are already inspired a lot by anime and the Japanese philosophy of cuteness, which leaves less opportunity for American Moe to shine. When everything is vaguely adorable, nothing feels particularly more adorable than the rest. In my opinion, there are 3 distinct categories of characters that I feel fit the definition of American Moe. Those categories are the innocent victims, the social outcasts, and the random XD. I'm open to expanding the categories as I gather more data, but for now, I feel like these 3 subsets describe the characters we'll be covering today very well. As for Jenny, I think she fits best into the social outcast category. While she does make some friends during the series, she still struggles to fit in, and her earnest attempts at being a normal teenage girl makes for peak Moe. Expanding on the social outcast set of characters, let's talk about Wall-E from the hit Pixar film of the same name. In my humble opinion, Wall-E is the epitome of cuteness. He has so much personality while not exactly having any real dialogue in the film. Wall-E is a cleaning robot, one of millions, tasked with compacting garbage left behind by humans in order to make Earth livable again. However, he seems to be the only one still functioning, meaning he's wandering a deserted planet all alone with only a cockroach for company. He loves human artifacts and decorates his little storage unit with string lights, a TV, and other random objects that he likes. When he meets Eve, he's instantly enamored by her despite her attempts to kill him, showing how innocent and forgiving he is. Later, when he makes it onto the ship, Wall-E is easily spotted as an outsider due to his dated technology and dirty exterior, compared to all the high-tech modern robots. He quickly becomes targeted by Otto along with Eve, who is seen as his accomplice. Wall-E is shown throughout the film to be incredibly kind and thoughtful. The way he takes care of Eve when she powers down, his concern for the cockroach, etc. He's also naive, not understanding how dire the situation is at times, forcing Eve to fuss over him. Wall-E's American Moe-ness comes from his underdog role in the film and his innocent and kind personality. I also think a big aspect of the social outcast American Moe subset is craving love and affection, but being unable to grasp it. Wall-E is a total hopeless romantic. Weird how the first 2 characters I talk about in this video are both robots, but I guess a common trope for robot characters is making them naive and innocent. Next, I want to talk about the innocent victims of American Moe, characters who are beaten down relentlessly but still remain kind and forgiving. One of the first characters I thought of when coming up with this video idea was Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Meatwad is a personal favorite of mine from this list. I absolutely adore him. He has so many cute moments from the show.
Don't you be giving it to me in that sippy cup. I'm an adult and I deserve an adult glass.
I don't think so.
If I had to describe the main characters, I'd say that Frylock is level-headed and mature, Master Shake is vindictive and narcissistic, and Meatwad is naive and childlike. Meatwad is constantly being bullied and derided by Master Shake, but Meatwad never really seems to become jaded by it. He loves having fun, playing with toys and animals, and always keeps a positive outlook.
I am Sofa King.
Faster.
I am Sofa King.
No, not so fast. Loses meaning.
He's not very bright and super gullible, which makes him easy to manipulate and take advantage of, which Master Shake often does. When bad things happen to Meatwad, it just adds to his cuteness. Helplessness is a core component of Moe, so seeing him struggle while sad just endears you to him even more.
Why is my buddy squirrely?
Oh, here he is. I found him face up in the hallway after your last little hug.
Squirrely, no! Squirrely! Squirrely!
Yeah, I think you better stop hugging him now. He's starting to smoke.
Very similar to Meatwad in the innocent victims category, we have Butters Stotch from South Park. Much like how Meatwad has Master Shake, Butters has Cartman and basically everyone else in the show. Butters was relegated to a side character up until season 6, where he was in the running to replace Kenny as the 4th member of the gang. When he joined, he was constantly being bullied and insulted by not only Cartman, but the other boys as well for not being as cool as Kenny. After the Kenny replacement arc ended, Butters continued to have a prominent role in the series and became a mainstay character, often being taken advantage of and abused by the other kids. Butters has a happy-go-lucky personality with a hint of shyness. He talks with a southern drawl and sometimes stutters, adding to his cuteness factor. Butters is kind, sweet, and sensitive. He usually refrains from swearing, unlike the other kids in his school, using his catchphrases instead.
Oh, hamburgers. Oh, nutsack.
He's constantly being grounded by his parents and belittled by them, which increases his American Moe-ness since he suffers but still remains sweet. I think Butters could fit into the social outcast category as well, since he struggles with being accepted by his peers, which causes him to resort to people-pleasing in order to gain their favor. Regardless, I'm placing him in the innocent victim category because that just feels more correct. Audience attachment to Butters mostly comes from realizing how unfair his life is and wanting to see good things happen to him, while also eliciting an emotional response when things go wrong.
I don't play World of Warcraft.
Butters, you said you're on your computer all the time.
Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Moving on from the innocent victims category, this next category is what I have currently dubbed as Random XD, covering characters whose cuteness comes from acting in an absurd, dumb, or strange manner. When it comes to Patrick Star from SpongeBob, his stupidity and simplicity, in seasons 1 through 3 in the first movie, are what makes him Moe, not so much the random element. We'll get to that later. Patrick is SpongeBob's best friend, characterized as stupid but pure of heart and sincere. SpongeBob often goes to him for advice since he's good at sounding wise, even if most of his advice isn't very good. His design in the original seasons is very warm and kind, with bushy eyebrows and half-lidded eyes accompanied by a gentle smile. He's always there to lend SpongeBob a hand when his friend needs him, even if he often makes the situation worse unintentionally. He's a huge glutton, and his love for food is yet another aspect that adds to his cuteness factor.
You took my only food! Now I'm gonna starve!
When something upsets him, he can fly off the handle and go berserk, like when he forces everyone in the movie theater to look at SpongeBob in the season 2 episode Something Smells. He also loses it during the Fry Cook games when he and SpongeBob are competing against each other. Patrick's patheticness is yet another contributing factor that makes him incredibly Moe. The best example of this is the episode Big Pink Loser, where Patrick briefly works at the Krusty Krab in order to earn an award, jealous that SpongeBob has so many and he doesn't have a single one. However, he is incompetent at literally every single task given to him.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
While Patrick does act selfishly from time to time, he often learns his lesson and he and SpongeBob make up in the end. Plus, the occasional bratty attitude has never stopped a character from being Moe. On the contrary, it can make a character even more Moe. The character Gur from Invader Zim is a defective Sir robot given to Zim in the first episode of the series. Unlike his working Sir counterparts, Gur has low intelligence, lacks motivation, and has an overall joyful and non-violent personality. He spends his time gorging on snacks, watching TV, and running manically around the house. Zim has an incredibly difficult time getting Gur to actually follow orders, and even when Gur sometimes has flashes of competence when he reverts back to being functional, it never lasts long and he goes back to acting silly like before. His signature look is the green and black dog costume he wears to disguise himself around humans, which is pretty outwardly adorable, especially compared to how grimy and gross everything in the Invader Zim universe is. Gur, and really Invader Zim as a whole, is the epitome of 2000s early internet meme culture.
Hi, Floor! Make me a sandwich!
Randomly shouting tacos or waffles, replacing the S's with Z's.
Tacos! It's who made waffles! I'm not going to eat that!
Since Gur was one of the originators of this style of humor, it's actually kinda charming and cute when he does it versus if you tried to replicate it in modern times.
Eat spicy goodness like a bow. Stop! Fucking stop!
Gur is innocent and naive, a common trait among my American Moe character picks. He likes everyone and holds no prejudice or ire, the complete opposite of Zim. Even though Zim berates and yells at him often, Gur loves Zim and remains his loyal henchman, which is another charming and Moe aspect of his character. The last character I want to talk about is one that I've had a hard time fitting into my 3 categories, but now that I think about it, might fit best as a social outcast. That character is Ted Bennett, specifically from the recent TV series, not the films. While I do enjoy the Ted movies, especially the second one due to how batshit insane it is,
now piss off, all right? I'm standing up for me, and I'm standing up for the homos. We deserve respect.
Ted, shut up.
Fine.
Ted is much less Moe in them than in the TV show.
Such a fucking hypocrite!
You're the fucking hypocrite! Huh? Sleeping with women, sleeping with men, having it both ways.
That's called having your pussy and eating it too. Right? It's a play on words.
I think that mainly boils down to being paired with a younger John, played by Max Burkholder, versus the old John, played by Marky Mark Wahlberg. Young John is considerably more likable than the version we see in the movies. He's shown to be more compassionate and innocent, and even when he does mess up, it's a lot more understandable coming from a kid character than a 35-year-old man. Circling back, Ted tends to mirror whichever John he's accompanying, which makes sense since they do everything together. In the movies, Ted is way more crude and vindictive. Both Ted and John seem to have become worse and worse people as they aged, which in turn makes their TV show counterparts so much more likable. Ted in the TV show is naive about most adult topics, just like John is, making their discoveries of the adult world relatable and cute. While mischievous, Ted still comes off as a kind person when it matters most, and he and John learn lessons together about life throughout the show. I failed to mention the most important part in all of this yet, that being that the Ted model used in the show is extremely adorable. It's cute in the movies too, but the one in the show just perfects it. There's a good reason why East Asia, particularly China, has been obsessed with Ted's design since the first movie was released. You can find Ted blind boxes at basically every Pop Mart, and back in the day, Japan actually made a Ted x Danganronpa advertisement. That about wraps up my first go at defining American Moe. There are a lot of other characters I could have mentioned, but we'll have to save them for a part 2. Let me know what you thought of my criteria and personal definition of American Moe, what you agreed and disagreed with. I know a lot of people will have wanted me to include My Little Pony, so sorry about that. Just like my girl fill video, I'm sure I can refine my analysis a lot better with constructive criticism, so if you have anything to say, make sure to let me know in the comments. This video was a lot different than my usual content. I barely mentioned anime at all, so truth be told, I'm a little nervous that this video will flop. If you enjoyed it, please do me a favor and hype the video, drop a like, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna try to upload at least twice a month from now on. Anyway, thanks so much for sticking around to the end. See you in the next video. Bye! Special thanks to my $10 and $20 patrons: Alicia Faber, Amber Rain, Amy Dick, Kesplat, Benny Bao, Cheebs, Chevalier Malfette, Christian Lomax, Constance, Emperor RK, Eric Eichison, Lily, Matt Brandel, Meat Wizard, Russell Spalding, Taz, Thiel Wren, and Zenonia.